Episode 304. Today we're talking about some standouts in yesterday's matchup between Edmonton and Vegas. Another back and forth game, very high scoring game where we saw a lot of offense throughout. And of course, to end it, you had Connor McDavid connecting with Leon Draisaitl. Not a surprise there. I think those two, they just connect on a regular basis, especially when it comes to their play off the rush and in on-man rush situations. They just seem to always find each other and they always find ways to be able to make plays to one another. And starting with some standouts at Edmonton, I think the depth really stood out on their side as well. And talking about guys like Vasily Podkolzin, I mean, I wouldn't consider Evander Kane a depth player, but certainly fits that mold. And you're getting some offense out of him. You're getting offense out of Darnell Nurse. You're getting offense out of Corey Perry, Jake Wallman, and some other guys in that mix. Even John Klingberg was a factor in this game too. And I think when you talk about Edmonton, they need to have their depth going. Obviously, you need McDavid and Draisaitl, but you need their depth and you need to have their depth going. I feel like over the course of the last handful of games now we've seen Edmonton take control with more of their depth, which is really good to see. And obviously they need to be able to contribute offensively and also defensively to be able to win the series. And Edmonton, they take a 2-0 series lead heading back to Edmonton. I think they played really well throughout these two games so far, which is really good to see. And it's just a situation where Vegas is still a really good team and they're still scoring, but when you have a team like Edmonton, they're a high octane offensive group. It's just very hard to stop, very hard to be able to maintain that on a regular basis. And then some other guys, I think Ryan Nugent-Hopkins was effective just to be able to make plays on and off the puck, his ability to play in transition, his ability to be a two-way guy and be a staple as a two-way center, I think is very important for this group. And Nuge was a guy that was very active on the offensive side of the puck and being able to make plays, being able to be direct, being able to move north, being able to move laterally across the offensive zone with the puck. And I think he was doing a great job at doing that. Vasily Podkolzin, like I mentioned, he had a bit of a squeaker goal that went in, but I think outside of that, he was very effective cutting across, moving laterally. When you think of Vasily Podkolzin, what really stands out is his north-south game. He's not necessarily a flashy or super dynamic player, especially when it comes to his footwork and stuff like that. I think where he blossoms the most is his ability to compete and his ability to get pucks north and move north. And he's not like I said, not a flashy player, but plays a simplistic style of game that can translate in these situations. And then Zach Hyman, another guy who can play very effective moving north and around the net, who was really noticeable once again moving north. And when his forechecking ability, his ability to lock guys down on the forecheck, his ability to track back, his ability to use his speed, all major assets when it comes to talking about his game and how he's able to play. And I think he's just very effective throughout this game at being able to do so, which was really good to see. Obviously, Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl were standouts. I think one of the guys who was really noticeable was Jake Wallman. And Jake Wallman's had a slow start to the playoffs. He hasn't been effective as consistently as he'd like to be. But I think he's starting to ramp it up a little bit more. He's starting to look a little bit better offensively, a little bit more comfortable defensively as well. I think he's looked a little bit more assertive the last, I would say, handful of games, and just shift by shift, I think he looks a little bit more polished, which is really nice to see. I think yesterday what stood out in terms of his D zone play was his ability to maintain his shoulder square and also his stick detail. He was more assertive in how he's using his stick and how he's managing his stick to be able to break up plays and be able to manage the puck. And he was doing that a lot in line rush against and being able to mitigate plays one on one in the O zone or in his D zone and was doing a great job of that. I thought he looked really noticeable on the offensive side of the puck as well, just being able to make plays, being able to activate, being able to be a contributor, and that was really good to see out of him and really good to see him be involved. As for Vegas, I think the two guys who were also tandem in Buffalo, Jack Eichel and Victor Olofsson, I thought those two were very effective and Jack Eichel had 3 assists and has ramped it up a little bit over the course of the series as well. I think he's played more effective as of late. And but even then, like they still need to get contributions from all throughout their lineup if they want to beat Edmonton. And they were able to get some, but not a whole lot per se. And I think Mark Stone is very effective. Like Alex Pietrangelo is a guy you can rely upon as essentially your number one defenseman in Vegas, number one, number two. And Victor Olofsson had 2 goals throughout this game, was just showing his scoring pedigree. He's active with the puck. He's very active in his shooting ability, being able to shoot off 1 foot, shoot off 2 feet. He was creating volume in different ways, and he was able to have that shot first mentality, which was really good to see. And then Noah Hannafin, who's very active in transition. He's a guy who likes to stretch the play moving north, coming from his D zone on up. And I think some of that had to do with Calgary and how they'd play their system. And especially when they had Daryl Sutter there for a certain amount of time, I think they would like to stretch plays north. I think some of that's still ingrained in Hannafin's game, how he likes to turn up ice right away and move the puck right away, and does a good job of it. And does a good job of it on breakout situations and on outlet situations. And then while William Karlsson was just noticeable when it comes to his two-way plays, compete, his tenacity on and off the puck, his ability to maintain possession, and his ability to just be involved in all facets of the game offensively was something that was really noticeable to see all throughout this game as well from William Karlsson.